Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for joining me. I just finished filming my 10K celebration video, where I show you or talk to you about 10 creators. There's actually a bonus. There's a bonus 12 in there if you stay to the end, which you should because it's worth it. But 10 creators who I think you should be aware of, that are doing incredible things in the board game space, and that I want to and I am confident in driving my audience to. And now I wanted to sit down and do a different type of video. So I'm comfortable talking. I've been talking for about an hour at this point. So we're going to do our very best to do a video where I just talk to the camera, which again always makes me way more nervous than almost any of the other stuff I do. I think it's because I don't have the added music, or I can't lean on the fact that I have multiple camera angles, or I can cut to B-roll if I need to. Instead, I have to take my time and talk and think and just hang out for a while. So this video, if you clicked on this video, you would have seen what I've learned from 1 subscriber to 10,000 subscribers, and that's honestly the idea of this video. It's kind of the question that I wanted to pose myself, and I've taken some notes that I have hidden over there on a note card leaned up against a duck off camera. Don't believe me? Well, it's true. Because I want to talk about, I want to look back on the last year and a half. 10K is a huge number, and we're here faster than I honestly expected us to be, and man, it is it is in the midst of a crazy world that we are here. But we're here, and the community is incredible. And so I wanted to reflect on the lessons that I've learned, the ways that I've grown, and what I'm looking forward to in the future when it comes to Quackalope. Because we're a real thing. Like people on their own, a few of them at least, like three people on their own, check in and watch and engage and are excited about the stuff we produce here. And I wish Jan could be here with me, the co-host of the show, but he will be, soon. I get him once a month. So we have some other videos that we're going to update you about, and some other content we're going to bring to the channel when he makes it back down here. But for now, I really wanted to ask myself that question and answer as honestly as I could. What have I learned going from 1 subscriber to 10,000 subscribers? And to start with, the biggest thing I've learned, the thing I think that impacted me the most, the thing I've been reflecting on over the last few days as we saw ourselves approach that number, is the idea that I can actually do it. Now, I started thinking I could. When I started with 1 subscriber, I had a goal or a concept. I had a 5-year target, and I still have that 5-year target. Like, don't get me wrong, this is just a really high point in the channel, one that I want to take a moment to reflect on and celebrate. But this is just a point in that, trajectory, in that goal. But the one thing I didn't know when I started was if I could be consistent, if I could grow, if I could put out content every single week, if I could improve along the way, if I could make it here. I didn't... 10,000 was farther away than maybe I anticipated, but yet closer than I knew. It kind of reminds me of when my grandfather took me on the Appalachian Trail for the first time. I was 13, and we ended up hiking from Pennsylvania to Maine, something like 1,500 or 1,700 miles, give or take, depending on which side roads we went on. I don't remember. And that trip was incredible. Probably one of the best moments of my life. Certainly the most nostalgic memories I have. When I go hiking out in the woods or ride on a motorcycle or anything, I I'm always called back to that desire to be back out onto the trail. And when I started that, I didn't know what we were signing up for. I didn't know it would take 3.5 months. I didn't know how far we were walking. I had no idea how far Maine was away from Pennsylvania. But every day we woke up, packed our camping gear, and hit the trail. We walked 12 to 18 miles, and we stopped at another shelter or another campground, and we unpacked and cooked dinner, and then we did it again. And again and again. And there were high points, and there were hotels along the way every now and then, some pretty seedy ones. My grandma picked us up and took us to a farm in New York that our relatives had, and so there were moments that weren't exactly the same. But we had to make it there. We had to walk, and it was slow, and it was hard work. And if we didn't put in the time, day after day, we never would have gotten there, to the peak of Mount Katahdin, the end of the Appalachian Trail. And so this, in a lot of ways, thinking about it, back on it, reminds me of the lessons I learned there, on that journey. The idea that I can do it. That I can do something for 1.5 years. Think about it, engage with it, do something for it every single day of the week. That's cool. That's something I didn't realize I'd get from this. For me, it's something to be proud of. And it's also changed the way I approach new challenges or new ideas. I mean, I've just started picking up books again and reading actual physical books instead of listening to them. I've just started doing some more studies on things that I've always been curious about. But I never thought I would have the goal or the determination or even the ability, honestly, just the ability to do it. I never ascribed to myself. And now, I don't know that I have to have the ability. I just have to be willing to do something for it every day for the next year, for the next 5, or whatever that price is. I knew that when I started, but I've learned that along the way. And man, is that a cool thing to learn. It's a cool place to be. I can't wait to see how I grow and what I learn over the next few years of continuing to do this, and then applying that idea of accomplishing, of repeating, of doing something to other areas of my life. Things that maybe I've avoided or thought I couldn't accomplish, or projects that just seemed too big to handle on their own. That is one of the very salient things that I've learned. Another thing that I've learned, that I think if you asked me at 1 subscriber, I would have been able to tell you. But again, it's the difference between, I'm so sorry, I'm getting emails. The other thing that I think I could have told you at the beginning, but now I know, and that I think I undervalued or underestimated at the beginning, is that all of this is about community. From the ground up it is. And it has to be. Now, I knew that when I started. I fell in love with board games because of my family and because of my friend group and because I found community in it. In Washington, D.C., where I didn't know how to connect with anyone, I found people I could connect with in this space. And when you sit down at a gaming table, you're all kind of on the same page. You can start and grow from there. I'm good at networking and business and talking to people in that context, but you stick me into a room and tell me to sit down and play a game with someone, or find someone to talk to, or any of those social gatherings. I'm so uncomfortable and awkward. And so I needed board games to connect with people, to find common ground. To get past my own self-consciousness, to get past my own awkwardness. And so, the thing that I undervalued, and now know more than I think I realized, is that this channel is, first and foremost, about the community. When I started, I thought I could make really cool, pretty videos. That's what I do, right? It's been my career for a while. B-roll and and filming and multiple cameras, and I had a bunch of gear because I've worked in this industry for a bit. What I didn't realize I'd do is that I'd find and connect with some of my closest friends because of this channel. That I'd have a Discord community that I hang out with every single day, that I'd have close to 200 people on Patreon who support me. Sure, like, that's awesome, and I genuinely needed the help. But that those people would also be friends who I cannot wait to see in person. This year's been brutal, right? For a lot of us. I don't need to dive into it. We don't need to talk about it more than it's already been talked about, but... And that community of people, the people I've met through Quackalope, the Discord community I have, the Patreon community I have, the people here on YouTube that comment and engage and interact, and some of the comments that I've seen you all share about why and how you approach with our gameplay videos. This community is first and foremost one that I needed, one that I need more than I could express in a video where I'm talking to you on camera. I mean, yeah, this community, I guess, is the whole point. I just didn't realize it until maybe a year into it, until I connected with Jan, co-host of the show, familiar with him, the Goose. I met him because of Quackalope, because he liked what I was doing. He asked to meet at a coffee shop. It was very romantic. So this channel has created a personal community that I'm invested in, and I cannot wait to connect with people through, but then also a wider, more public, more global community, and I'm so grateful for that, so thankful for that. And again, this community is, I mean, I tell people in the Discord, like, the Discord is there because I really need it to be. So, let's see here. The other things that I've learned, I have two more on my list. First off is going to be taking time to improve your quality, but an emphasis on the time element. When I first started, I'd utter a phrase along the lines of, in some of my early videos talking about starting, talked about the idea of it not mattering where you were starting, but just the fact that you were always improving. And that is true, but I know it now more than I have an application for it now more than I ever had back then. Because our quality has improved from project to project, to video, our audio, our visuals, our set, everything we're doing. And I thought when we started, I was like, this is hot stuff. I was like, I'm doing B-roll. I got some lights in the background. I'm going to throw in a second angle there. And, you know, looking back on that stuff, like, I'm exactly as I thought I would be. A little bit embarrassed by the stuff we produced when we first started, but also proud of it, and thankful that I can look back on it, and I understand that if I had never produced it, I would never be here. But it is a big lesson that I've learned, and one that becomes more and more salient with every step and with everything I do. What we produce today is only the stepping stones for what we will produce in 6 months and a year, and so on and so forth. Down the road, we always hope to be improving our approach, our communication, the guests we have on, just everything we do. Listening and receiving and being our own self-critics, and growing along the way. And the only way you do that is with time and with application. The more time you put in, the better it'll be. if you're paying attention to it, if you want it to be better, if you're working on improving all along the way. But don't be scared to move slow. Take your time, approach it as you need to, and just know that the act of doing is oftentimes enough in itself. That will improve. But if you don't do, you're gonna find that no matter how much research or online videos you watch, you're not actually gonna get that much better. You get a lot of head knowledge, but it's the application that actually matters. And the final thing I want to talk about, which is going to go into more of a forward-thinking conversation about the channel in some ways. I want to talk about saying no more under the context of what I hope for this channel and what you all can expect and hold me to. We have grown faster than I ever fully anticipated. And so the demand on our time has increased more and more and more, to the point where I have some games that I haven't covered in a significant amount of time, that have been sent to me that I hope to get to the table. It is just a matter of, I'm producing about 5 videos a week right now, not including other extra little side projects and stuff. And at that production rate, I can only do so much. I am still the only person kind of creating all the content on the channel. Now, Jan's handling the podcast, which I'm very grateful for. If you don't know anything about that yet, you should check out the Quackalope podcast. But either way, now that we have 10,000 people here, understanding and making sure that we are always trying to stay true to our audience and stay true to our base is very important. And we're always behind the scenes defining and trying to analyze what that means and what that is and what we stand for. I mean, it's community first. It's about having fun and gathering around the table. It could be any range of games. I'm not talking about sticking to KDM or Mage Knight or, down to more family-focused games. I'm more talking about the type of content we make, the stuff we enjoy producing. We always want to be bringing content to the channel that is of value, that is fun, that is on games we enjoy. And coming with that, I mean, I've learned as we've grown that I need to say no a lot more. Because I don't have the capacity to produce everything. Because I just don't have the bandwidth a lot of the times, because some games, while they're fun or right for a variety of people, may not be the type of games that are exactly right for me. Even if they're right for Jan, we have different tastes, and so I need to make sure that the stuff that I'm agreeing to do here, I've thought through. It fits the content that we make on the channel, and it fits the content, that both Jan and I, whoever is going to be involved with it, actually enjoy. And we've stayed true to that over the year, but it is a lesson that I am continually examining and learning and trying to get better at. And now at 10K, our demands continued to go up, and we've grown a lot over the last few months, and so I have had to learn this and think about it more and more over the last few months. One thing that I think people have noticed on the channel is we're doing a lot more Kickstarter coverage. Probably 3 videos a week or so, throughout the summer has been Kickstarter-focused content. And I'm an avid Kickstarter backer. I really enjoy the communities there and the publishers that produce content there, and I have a lot of respect for that side of the industry. And you get decent views. If I'm going to be honest, oftentimes Kickstarters lead to good ROI when it comes to channel growth, when it comes to content. That being said, my bandwidth for extra fun projects, solo games or deep dives into thematic games or just experimental videos, here or on the Patreon specifically, that's been restricted because we have had more content around Kickstarter than I think we primarily want on the channel. Now, do we want to cover Kickstarter content? Absolutely. The question is a matter of bandwidth and percentages. If I can only produce 5 videos a week, then my preferred balance would be about 3 videos that are non-Kickstarter related, or at least not associated directly with kind of a Kickstarter launch, and then maybe 2 that are, on that Tuesday that are associated with kind of Kickstarter content. I just wanted to make sure that for those of you that have watched this point, the people who are really fans of our content, you know that we are examining and reevaluating and always trying to do our very best to make sure we're providing a wide mix and breadth of content here. Content that informs you, engages you, that you're excited to see, and content that's on a lot of things, not only just the new hotness, but also a ton of old games, a ton of classics, a ton of things that we personally love and get to the table as much as we can. That's the concept, at least. That's what we're always trying to do. And for the few of you that have watched this long that aren't big fans of us, that maybe just subscribe to the channel, thanks for tuning in. Glad to have you here. I'm glad to have all of you here. That's the list. I really do. Told you, I've got a duck holding up a note card with everything that I'm supposed to cover on it. So, all that being said, thank you for watching. Thank you for getting us to this incredible moment. I was thinking of what I wanted to say, as a sign-off, as an end thing. It just comes down to everything that we've already said. You're the community that I need. And so I'm grateful for you, and very thankful for you, and I am excited to meet and hang out and play games, and just have a good old time. So thanks for being here. Whatever you do, whatever your takeaway is from this video, from this long rambling video, I seem to make a lot of these, remember to do the important thing. Get out and play some games, and I'll see you sometime soon, I hope. Thank you.